Hi, my name is Keaton, and welcome back to another poetry analysis, where we will be analyzing The Discardment by Patan. Now, The Discardment has a theme of inequality between races and classes. Particularly, we're looking at the context of South Africa, where there's obviously a very large difference between white and blacks. The tone is cynical, joyous, depressing, and reflective at times. When we look at the title, The Discardment, it's a definitive article. It's saying that it is the discardment. It holds a lot of value. The discardment is something that has no value, that it needs to be thrown out. So contradicting it in a sense. We gave her a discardment, something with no value. A trifle, it's insignificant, a thing no longer to be worn. Its purpose served. She puts it on with exclamation. So immediately we talking about the discardment, saying how it has no value. But obviously by talking about it, we're giving it the value, because that's the value in words. So we're giving it this value, but by saying it has none, and then we're juxtaposing it with the value that this woman has, putting it on with exclamations, shouting, and being excited. So obviously in the beginning we've got this repetition to emphasize its uselessness. We've got a negative connotation with the unimportance of it to represent the lack of the speaker's perception of its wealth. Then throughout the poem we just see how this woman celebrates. She dances, she sings, she speaks in a native tongue, she calls out to strangers. When she dances and she sings, it's because the joy in her is so great that it overcomes her physical boundaries and she expresses herself in that way. She called out, this anaphora, repetition. She celebrates in many ways, it's jubilant. So when she calls out to her fellow servants, because those are the only people that can relate to her. So this is a genuine appreciation of the discardment to all the continents of Africa. She's talking about the entire wealth gap in the continent, the way we've been pillaged by the British nation. To see this one to participate in this intolerable joy. Intolerable joy is an oxymoron. It's because if something's joyous, it's usually not intolerable. It's irony because she's had to watch this overreaction. So it's ironic because of that. And it's intolerable because the speaker is watching it and is so overcome with guilt that he can't tolerate it. It feels bad that this is the situation that they live in. However, the joy is what she's experiencing. And so for nothing is the inherent monetary value of the discardment, is purchased loyalty and trust. Once again, a massive juxtaposition saying that loyalty and trust, these two massive things that you can't just buy for nothing or are literally bought for nothing. And it's not so much, it's a paradox, and it's not so much that the discardment is of no monetary value, it's that it represents a bridging between the gap. And loyalty and trust are things that cannot be bought, which is what makes it so significant. And when it talks about the most rare simplicity, it's that of loyalty and trust, because they're such basic human emotions and functions. However, they're quite rare to find amongst people. So for nothing, once again referring to the monetary value, this incredibly valuable thing is bought. And the destruction of a world, not necessarily the actual world, but more the perception of the racial and class differences, that perception is shattered by this whole experience. The speaker's world is shattered. It changes the views and gives them a different perspective to understand more. South Africa is destroyed by our expectation of nothing, and that's what the poem is trying to get across. In the beginning, half of the stanza, it talks about the discardment. Initially talks about the discardment, how she celebrates it at the end is reflective. It's reflective on what the discardment means, not necessarily even for just the worker that it goes to, but for the whole country, what that means when we try to bridge this gap and how it relates to the world. And that's discardment. So thank you. And until next time, I've been Kian Moses. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share with your friends and family. And leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments. Thank you.